Quick shout out to the guys at Portola Dining Commons who play this game every single time I see them. But yeah, this is a game where everyone, including you, can be a Duke every single time. Let's get into it. I'm Duke. I tax 3 coins.
Wow, how are there 6 Dukes?
Coup is a bluffing game for 2 to 6 people, 15 minutes, plays very true to time, and if you actually look closely at the box, you can see that it looks like the game The Resistance, and that's because it's set in the same universe. It actually has the same publisher, and people who like the game The Resistance will also like the game Coup. Time to look at what you get in the box when you buy the game. So what we have, oh nice, Daniel organized it real nicely for me. You get a bunch of these coins, more than you will ever need, so if you lose a bunch, you'll be fine. 15 of these cards, so you get 3 of each. A bunch of player boards, 6 of them. And last but not least, the rulebook, the good old rulebook. Teach you how to play the game. Cool. Goal of the game, be the last one standing. To do that, everyone's going to be assigned these role cards. Now these are all a little different and they all represent certain character abilities. Now we'll get to that in a bit, but these are your primary piece to win the game. They also double as your life points. So as I said, each character has a special ability, so either they'll help you attack people or protect yourself or just get more information. Now, there are 15 cards in the game and you will be dealt 2. If you lose both of these, you're out of the game. No more lives. You're dead. Start of the game Coup, you're gonna get these 2 role cards that I just talked about. Now, everyone gets a pair of these and you look at them. So these are your character abilities that you can claim, but they are also your life points. So right now, 2 life points. As they get flipped over, I start to lose lives. Once these are both flipped, out of the game, no more lives. In addition to getting this, I will also get this player board, which tells me every single action and every single counter action in the game. Very useful. And to top it all off, everyone gets 2 coins. So on a turn, you have a choice of 1 action. Look at this list. You can do any of these actions. And just as a current game state, I currently have the Duke and the Assassin. So I look at these and I'm like, you know what? I can say any ability. I don't even have to say I'm a Duke or Assassin. So I'm going to be the captain. So I can claim that I'm the captain because in this game, which is really cool about it, you can claim any single card you want and you can get away with it as long as no one else challenges you. So for example, if I want to say I'm the captain, and I steal 2 coins from someone else because that's what the captain ability does, and no one else calls BS, then I'm scot-free and hey, to them, maybe I do have the captain. Now, if they do call BS, here's where it gets a little exciting. So as an example, let's go back to my actual hand and not lie. So I'm gonna say, I have the Duke. And remember in this game, anything could be a lie. So I call Duke and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna use the ability, take 3 coins from the middle. And Daniel's like, no, there's no way you have the Duke. Duke's too strong, you don't have that. So I'm like, all right, man, actually, I do have the Duke. So he flails and whines and he has to flip over his card, meaning that he loses a life. Now this Duke that I just showed everyone goes back in the deck. I shuffle the deck and get dealt a new card that may or may not be the Duke. On the next turn, I decide to pretend I have a Duke because obviously I do not have a Duke right now, but I want to claim I have a Duke. So I call Duke, take 3 coins from the middle. Daniel says, no way you have it again. I'm actually gonna call it. And in this aspect, he would be correct because I don't have a Duke.
Another success.
Unfortunately, I have to look at my cards and be like, crud, flip over a card, and I lose that life for the rest of the game. I can no longer use this card as leverage in terms of claiming abilities either. Remember the 2 coins you were given at the start of the game? Yeah, so these coins are your main resource in Coup. So there's 2 ways you can spend them. 1, you have 7 coins, you put it to the central bank, and what that does is that you force someone else to flip over one of their cards. They do not have that card for the rest of the game to use as leverage. This is effectively losing a life. This action called Coup is not negatable. Another way you can spend your coins is by spending 3 coins and claiming the Assassin, which lets you assassinate someone else just like the Coup, a little discounted, but someone can call Contessa to block your assassination. Or since it's a character card, you could be lying about it, someone could challenge you for it, and Duke.
Okay.
Now let's talk about the pros on this game. Man, there are so many pros about this game. This game does so many things right. First thing about this game that's really good is the components. We like to talk about components here at Shelfside. A couple things here. One, the box. The box is really good. It fits everything really well. It's actually the perfect size to fit. It's even smaller than the Resistance, which I gushed about. Even smaller than the Resistance, easily fits in your bag. And also the components. These are some nice, heavy cardboard material feeling things, and they seem to be coated with some type of plastic finish. Very nice. They look basically new, even though we played it for years. Don't know how that happens. All these cards right here, they have some nice premium linen feel to it. Very cool. I do love the art. Like, they just really did a good job here making it feel very accessible, with all these looking very, very different. You will not get these mixed up. There's no way you get them mixed up. They're all different colors, totally different faces, as well as this nice player board to remind you what the hell is going on in the game, so newcomers can feel like they're not thrown into a crazy mouthful. As for scaling, so this game plays from 2 to 6 players. Every single player count is good. I've tried the 1v1 variant, which is the 2-player variant, and this is explained in the rulebook. It's just really good. It's surprisingly really good. I would play it a lot. There was once I played it with my cousin, like probably over 100 times in one weekend. 3 to 4 players is a dynamic, fast number that most people probably expect to play at. 3 to 4, very good. 5 to 6 players, it starts to get a little more political. It's chaotic, it's cutthroat, still a great game. But no matter what player count you play this game at, the pacing is just good. Like, it never drags on because of the coup thing. People won't be like left sitting out too long if they're eliminated. Now, if you ever feel like you're getting bogged down by your character abilities in the game and you're kind of like at a dead end, there is one card called the Ambassador, which is kind of like a get out of jail free card if you feel like you're stuck in a corner. If you are able to pull that off, which happens quite a bit because no one calls BS on that, quick secret there. But yeah, if you're able to pull that off, you feel like you have a fresh hand and you're still in the game. Now, this wouldn't be a review about Coup if we weren't talking about how it handles bluffing. I've been gaming for a very, very long time. You can ask Daniel, the cameraman, right there. And I've struggled to sometimes find that game where it's very fun, but I want to be able to play it with a lot of people. And Coup does that. There is no other game that is as accessible and as cutthroat and has the capacity to mind game as Coup. There's so many like character interactions in terms of all the 5 different roles interacting with one another. There's so many combos, mini combos you can pull off that won't be obvious to a newcomer, but after they play the game a couple times, they'll start to really sink in. Also, the way the game reveals knowledge is just really smooth. So due to the way when someone dies or gets hurt, you flip over one of their cards and that reveals information to everyone at the table. That is really good for giving people some capacity of what the hell is going on the board. When someone dies completely, you have twice as much knowledge. There's also something about the game which is interesting, where you actually have an incentive to call BS on someone even when it doesn't directly affect you, because since how tied together and how cutthroat this game is, everything ends up affecting you at the end, and you can really do some cool political stuff there. In the end, the simplicity of this game of just having 2 cards in front of you, looking at them, looking at your player sheet, and just being like, I'm gonna pick one of these actions and see what happens. The simplicity of that is just unparalleled. You have turns where you're just like, all right, Duke. Just by saying one word, so much is going on underneath. It has that poker-esque feeling of a game while being an actual game, aside from a deck with just playing cards. Now to talk about the cons about Coup. Wait, cons? Cons? Oh, okay, that's right, cons. There are no cons of this game. Wow, see, I'd love to go through games and figure out what's wrong with them, because I've played so many games, like to see what's going on, but after a week of deep consideration, Daniel and I cannot find any true cons, any flaws, any fatal flaws with this game Coup. Daniel, isn't that right? Now, sometimes there is a game that is just that good. It is simply like a work of art. Coup is just that. It is a 10 out of 10, a masterpiece, a truly classic, a classic game, indie boards and cards. Good job. Remember how I mentioned that those guys at the Dining Commons played it every day? Yeah, the game is that good. Did I mention how Daniel and I have played it hundreds of times? Yeah, the game is that good. If you want a game where you can lie to your friends, yell at them, see if you can get away with it, get this game. The game is that good. If you want to have a good time yelling on the table, blah, yelling, get this game. But if you want to have a smaller, maybe a 1v1 interaction, maybe 3 people, something a little more calculated, Also good, get this game. This is a game I truly believe that indie boards and cards have knocked it out of the park. I would recommend it to anyone who likes these games where you can lie to your friends, especially on the simpler side. And remember, it's so simple that you can teach it to anyone. It is just so accessible, so fun, so good, so quick. Coup is a masterpiece. It's a knock out of the park. Coup. So, Coup is a masterpiece. I cannot deny that. But now it is time for my personal score. So what do I think about Coup when it's brought up to play? Well, this game I'm gonna have to give it a 6 out of 10. Still an above average game in my eyes. It's just that it's simple, and Daniel and I have played it for hundreds of hours. It just has that resistance treatment. Just a little old to me now. Still, it's always gonna stay in my collection. Great game. It's just that for me personally, just slightly above average. There is a bit of a weird meta in our group where people seem to deviate towards the Duke because it is a safe play, which leads to games being a little stale. Again, not a problem for most groups, just something that bothers me a bit. I would actually rate this game lower than a 6 out of 10. I just love seeing how people are prone to lying and calling out bluffs to one another. So again, like the Resistance, it's one of those social games, I like to whip it out with new people, see how they react. It'll always be in my collection. This is Coup, 6 out of 10.
I would give this game a for boom 5 out of 10. Reason is, it hits the dot on average, just right there for me, because again, like Ashton has said, I too have played this game for way too god dang long, all right? Like, most of my memories of playing board games with the dudes, with the boys, me and the boys in late high school and early freshman years of college, actually maybe just the summer before going off to college, those mostly just riddled with Coup. And for such a simple game that was probably not meant to be played all goddamn day, it is once more, just like with the Resistance, did a number on my willingness to play the game, which is why it sits on that 5 out of 10, because if someone recommends it, I'm gonna have that very meh average feeling in my mind, because I'm just like, oh, I'd rather just play something else. But I cannot deny that still, this game is just that good. Otherwise I wouldn't have played it so much. All right, high school years, if you ask me what I'd give it, I'd be like 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, everyone buy it, this game's amazing. Nowadays, I'm like, oh God, it is scary how much hours I put into it. I'm just like, but don't let that stop you if you haven't checked out Coup. Buy it. This belongs on everyone's board game shelf. I'm serious, go buy it. If you don't have it, get it right now. It's that good. 15 bucks. I don't know what it is now, but that's what it was when we got it, so super worth the price. Buy it. Buy.
So,
No, only buy.
So this was Coup. I actually didn't think it was a masterpiece until I sat down and really thought about it. Well, great game, super elegant. I highly recommend buying it, like what Daniel said. This was Shelfside. Thanks for watching. See you guys next week or next review. And that was Coup. Bye-bye.